All right, so I've come into contact with two mass murderers in the last 2 days. What, what's going on? All right, let me tell you the story. Okay, so today is June 14th, Saturday. So 2 days ago, Thursday, June 10th, the first truck that showed up at work was a tractor trailer from North Carolina. Showed up at 6 o'clock in the morning and it had a full load, and it took me like 3 hours to unload this guy. Well, little did I know that a block and a half up the street, the whole time I was unloading this guy's truck, an FBI Fugitive Task Force was forming up the road, and the second this guy left, block and a half up the road, they pulled him over, stuffed him, cuffed him, all that, because it turns out that him and a couple of guys had gone into a house party in North Carolina, and they shot the place up. They found like 80 spent shell casings or something like that at the scene, and this guy like killed at least one person, if not a couple. I mean, I don't know the whole details yet. And then the first thing he did was then go to work and then picked up his tractor trailer that had our load of stuff in it and drove all the way from North Carolina to Minnesota like it was nothing. Like nothing happened. So crazy. I'm glad I didn't have to personally interact with him, but all the truck drivers, when they get to our work, they have to come in and go into this like caged area in the receiving office and talk to somebody and give them their paperwork, and they have to get assigned a door to go to and all that. Yeah. So the girl that one's receiving at work said that she just got the creeps from this guy right off the bat. She said she just had a gut feeling. And I said, well, you know what? Trust your gut feeling, because your gut feeling's usually right about stuff. So anyway, I didn't have to interact with the guy. Normally, sometimes truck drivers take forever to back in, and it takes them 5 tries because they are inexperienced and don't know how to back their trucks in. And then other drivers just back in about a half a second, and they're in and out of there. So you sometimes have to go out and talk to the drivers out in the parking lot, and sometimes they get pissy and you get into a little bit of a spat with them. So I'm glad that I did not have to go out there and get into it with this dude at all. So anyway, so now 2 days later, it's Saturday morning. I'm sitting here right now. I just got home from golf, and I haven't heard most of the details yet, but people have been sending me stuff all day long, because at 5:30 this morning, I go up to my local par 3 golf course, and it has a big, huge practice green that nobody ever goes to. So I practice my chipping there before I go up to the normal course that I'm a member at, and we have our tournaments every Saturday morning. So I'll go to that place and I'll practice my chipping for like 45 minutes. So I'm driving on the road there at 5:30 this morning, and a couple of unmarked cop cars flew by me, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I'm like, all right, well, it's kind of early in the morning for that stuff, but it's commonplace around here. And then I get to the course, and I hear a couple of sirens in the background, and I wasn't thinking about it. And then I pull into the parking lot. Nobody's there, not even the guy that works there, and he's usually there by then. So I'm walking up to the practice green with my cart, and I get the message to my phone from the Brooklyn Park Police Department. They sent out a mass message that said, Brooklyn Park Police, emergency intervention. Anybody within a 3-mile radius of the Edinburgh golf course should stay bunkered in. And I'm like, well, I'm like a mile and a half from there at the golf course that I was at. I was knee deep right in the middle of it. And they're like, it was an active shooter. Guy had on tactical equipment. He was misidentifying himself as a police officer. And they were given the description of what he was wearing and everything. And then all of a sudden, everything went crazy. There were people, cop cars all over the place, screaming up and down the roads, all over by that golf course. It was crazy. Next thing you know, there's helicopters and flying overhead. So I'm sitting there at this practice green, and there's nobody out on the course, and I can see probably 8 of the 9 holes all the way out on the course. So I'd chip a couple of balls, and then I'd scope the course, and I'd look for movement and see if anybody's coming. And then I'd hit a couple of more balls, and then I'd scope the course some more, see if anybody's coming. And then it just got to be so crazy with all the cop cars flying around and them sending out those messages every like 15 minutes. I'm like, that's it, I got to get out of here. So I go pack up and get in my car, and the second I leave, I got to go probably 2.5 to 3 miles up to 610 to get on the highway to go up to Corcoran. And every single corner, the whole way up there, that whole 2.5 miles, there were 2 squad cars on every corner with their lights flashing. I've never seen so many cop cars in my entire life, and I was like, man, this is crazy. So I got out to the golf course and I told everybody my story, and they're all kind of looking at me like, yeah, okay, dude, you're exaggerating a little bit, aren't you? No, absolutely I was not, because then next thing you know, this stuff is all over the news, and it turns out that this guy has killed a couple of people from a couple of different political parties in a couple of different cities right here in Minnesota. Our home city, Brooklyn Park, which is a mile and a half from my house here, and then over in Champlin, which is just on the other side of that Brooklyn Park as well. So, craziness. How does that happen? I mean, obviously I didn't see the second guy and I didn't come into contact with him, and who knows, that guy couldn't have been maybe anywhere near where I was, but they're talking he was within a 3 mile radius of the Edinburgh golf course, which I'm sure that one of those people that got shot must have lived on Edinburgh golf course, so that was like probably the ground zero epicenter. So yeah, I mean, I was only a mile and a half down the road, first main road from there. So, I mean, you never know what can happen. And how does it happen that that's twice in 2 days that I've kind of, right, kind of had a run-in with a mass murderer? It's crazy. So, anybody out there watching, family members and stuff, I love you. I'm safe, nothing happened. I didn't even come close to any kind of trouble or anything like that, but it's still enough to kind of make you think. It's odd, right? It's strange that 2 days, right? And I'm that close to it. So either that's bad luck, or it's good luck that I didn't get hurt or anything happened to me. So everything's good. So all right, everybody enjoy their day. See ya.